Hi guys, welcome to Candid with me, Lady T. In this special series called This is Fatherhood, I get to speak to lots of different men about their fatherhood journey, the wins, the losses, and the lessons learned. It's not easy being a father, and it's not easy being a mother either, but we're talking to the men this time around. Now, my guest today is a man who is an artist, an expressive and passionate one at that. He is from is a former member of Nigerian hip hop group Rooftop MC, and he's now a solo artist, a businessman in his own right. But the most important title of his is being a father. It's the one and only Snatcha. Whoop, whoop,
hey,
whoop, whoop, whoop.
what's up?
How are you,
I'm good, ma.
Yeah.
How's it going? Yes.
Well, we are here. We're trying. We're
Hallelujah. That's important.
Exactly, living.
As long as we're here, we're queer. We're going nowhere. Okay,
exactly
maybe not queer.
Oh yeah. Okay, so before we get started, how has life been for you in lockdown? Because because we're gonna get to the journey in a few minutes time, but like, how has life been for you in lockdown and with the kids and stuff?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone would say, "Oh, it's been wonderful. It's the best thing that's happened to me." Well, maybe not me, but it's been one thing after the other. Having to homeschool 3 kids and take care of 4. So it's been a lot. I've been on my toes. Just can't wait till we get away. Yeah, looking forward to that. But it's been all right. I've been
Not too bad.
read a lot.
Yeah.
I still have to try to read at the same time in the midst of all of that. So I still do some work at the same time. Still do some learning at the same time. It's been tough.
Have you learned anything new? Anything like you've learned about and for life or yourself or anything like that?
Oh yeah. That Gary is great with ice cubes, a bit of milk.
Hold on.
Not the evaporated. What?
You just finding out Gary and Ice Cube is...
No. I'm not just finding out. But what I'm finding out, well, the thing is, then you have to put a bit of powdered milk and Milo. Some people put other type of berry like Nesquik and whatever's nice thing, but it has to be Milo.
Milo?
It has to be Milo.
That is so weird. Milo?
My children call it chocolate Gary.
Chocolate? Oh my god!
No, I want chocolate Gary. Like, okay.
And the kids actually like that? They like that?
Oh, they like Gary. Then I introduced them to chocolate Gary. It's like, this is what we have in secondary school. Chocolate Gary.
Wow. Okay, so I can't really knock things because I'm always an advocate for random food combinations. So I'm not gonna knock it. I'm gonna get some Milo and then some Gary. Got ice cubes, so I'm gonna try it and then
try it. Your life will never remain the same.
Brilliant. I love it. Okay, cool. All right, so now the purpose of this conversation is literally just to talk to you about your fatherhood journey, because you have an extraordinary journey, and the aim of this is just to speak to like lots of different men who are in different positions of their fatherhood journey. So we're talking about single guys, we're talking about married, we're talking about some who are divorced, but yours is particularly unique because you don't get many men who are talking about what they're going through, and we seem to talk to women because we know it, but from a man's perspective you don't get to hear it. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to talk to you, because I know that you're very open and you're confident, and and I think whenever you speak, that someone's going to be listening and they can learn from it as well. And it's all about people learning from what you have to say. So for the benefit of those that don't know, I'm going to let him tell his story in a second, but one of the reasons why I'm speaking to Snatcha is because he's actually a widow, and you don't get many male
widow what?
Widower, sorry.
It's all right. Okay.
Oh, God.
No, just in case, I would have let it slide, but just in case people think I'm trans.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, right. Okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah,
yes.
just in case.
This is the case, but yes. So,
not like I have anything against trans people, but just clearing
It's okay. Don't need to anymore, because you just be digging continuously.
I just need to say that. But they say, oh, he doesn't like trans people.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that at all. So Snatcha is actually a widower, and we're going to hear about his story today, and you get to understand his perspective as a father now and everything that's going on. And before we get into that, so for you as a father, because I know is it 2 boys you have, or is it 1?
1 boy.
So you have 1 boy.
I have a boy and 3 girls.
Wow. Okay, we'll talk about the dynamics of fathering girls and boys a bit later on. So for you as a father in this current climate that we're in, because there's this, it's like the world is now in a different sphere where I think eyes are beginning to open at the injustice of Black people. We've been bagging about it for years and years and years, and people are just always very passive aggressive, or just it doesn't concern me, I don't need to know. But now, like, the world has now seen what really happens in terms of police brutality on Black people and other forms of brutality to Black people. It's like, whoa, and it's unfortunate. God rest his soul. George Floyd had to die, because it shouldn't have taken someone
to die
to notice what has been going on for so many years.
Yeah.
But then the fact that now the world is now awake, it's like it was all, well, God, whatever God was planning, I don't know, but it's like his death will not be in vain, and the other deaths as well that have happened that no one has really talked about, the world isn't seen, will not be in vain after all the stuff that's happened now. So for you as a father, what are your thoughts on this, and what are your experiences of racism have been, whether you've traveled or whether here in the UK itself? Because let's not excuse the UK. The UK has its own very, very bad issue. So what are your experiences as a father, racism wise, and what are your sort of like fears or hopes for your son?
I mean, it's not just racism, it's discrimination generally. And I mean, I faced a lot of that, and it's always a bother, and it's always the thing of worry to think that, how do I bring children into this kind of world? But the truth is, it has been, and it will always be. I don't want to say to forever be, but this is what it is. So what we need to do is just adjust, because no one's born racist, no one's born to hate. We teach them to. We say, don't talk to these type of people, they're different from you. I mean, and I felt that when we started having children, my late wife and I started saying, look, we have to teach them to be better people, to treat people better. And I think one of our scorecards was when my daughter's very close friend, am I allowed to say this? My daughter's very close friend is transgender.
Right.
My daughter's 6 years old. My daughter's 6 years old. When she was 5. When she was 5, her closest friend. Yeah, she's 7. She's gonna be 8 next week. But when she was 5, she had a close friend. Are you okay?
Just taking it in. I'm yeah. I'm catching flies at the moment, but yeah, I'm taking it in.
Yeah, she had a boy. Let's call him John.
Okay.
Yeah, let's call him John. And John was around for 7's birthday, and they really had a great time. And at first I was like, this boy, very close to my daughter. What's going on? And by the time it was over the summer, by the time school resumed, and I was wondering, I've not been seeing John. What happened? And said, oh, that's John. And they're like, no. I mean, that guy that said, yes, that's them. I'm like, oh. And I didn't even know before that. I got a call from one of the parents saying, did you hear? No, some parents are, did you hear? Like, what did we hear this time around? Like, that this boy and all of that, and his children are angry and all of that, and children are reacting to the boy. And I called my my daughter and said, what do you think about what's going on? So look, that's that, because she was the only person that was close to them. But I saying them, I know that's the preferred pronoun for that particular person. And she said that the fact that everyone, that's her choice, it has nothing to do with me. I don't believe in it, but they're still my friend.
Wow.
I felt so proud, like, you're still able to see the humanity in that person. I mean, maybe my wife and I will probably in our bedroom say, huh, no, what were the parents thinking? But hey, okay, you get. But that's our private, what we think. But we still love, and she'll go for play dates, and they'll come around for play dates, and it's just an amazing person. Basically, I'm saying that to say that we need to see beyond, because sometimes some of us say things like, oh, we're against, everybody's doing hashtag no to racism, which it does exist. But then again, we'll say, me, God forbid, I will never marry someone that is not from my tribe. Because those people in their tribe, they are like this, or they're terrible people, or they're known to so there's still some sort of discrimination. So yeah, I have witnessed it in areas whereby, even with my music, whereby moving into the UK, it's easier. Nigeria worked. I mean, it worked. I could walk into the top radio station there and, oh, this is my new single, and know what to do. But now, trying to break into the UK scene, you find out that maybe the only radio station that might help you out, or that might give you a chance, even when it comes to the Christian or the blogs and the rest of them, is that you have more chances just focusing on your Black people.
Right. Interesting.
Then if you want to break into the quote unquote white market, just look for the white lady, someone they know. Like, oh, identify with you guys, or if you can push your way and struggle and, one day go to Hillsong, join the workers team, be friends with someone, then just do a song with one of them and say, featuring that of Hillsong.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, when we notice you, because that's how it is. And unfortunately, it exists. I mean, I'll say back then, I mean, who even told, how come no one told the Puritans back in the day that you can't own people? The Puritans, we had quote unquote men of God back in those days. Remember when slavery went to Africa, they went with a Bible in hand and a sword at the back, saying, no, take our religion. Then they brought the sword. So people have always used religion as a form of oppression to the other person. So it's always been, really. I don't know if I answered your question. I just rambled.
Oh yeah, you did, and it kind of brings me to the to our part as Christians. What should we really? What should Christians be doing at this stage, and what should their reaction be? Because let's be honest, there's there is that segregation.
There's the divide.
There is a divide.
I think what we should be as Christians, we're not ready to be, because we're not ready to shake any trees. We're not ready to shake the foundations of the things we're taught as in our quote unquote foundational stages. Because the Bible says that in Christ there is neither Jew nor Gentile. Basically, and that's Paul really destroying the race barrier. There is neither Greek or Jew. There's destroying the class system. There's neither rich nor poor. There's neither male nor female. I mean, basically, it's trying to say that what's the point of you having women's ministry? If you think about it. Because the thing is,
I think Jew and Gentile was more like the I guess where they're from, rather than it being a gender type of role.
No, he said there's neither Jew nor Gentile. Basically, there's neither black nor white. Where you're from, oh, I'm from this, I'm from that. He also said neither male nor female.
Okay, that's another subject. Yeah. That's another discussion.
Yeah, the reason why I'm going there to say the thing is, because this is what we do. We always react. So we're quiet. Then there's a race issue. Then we come out to say, what will we do with race? Then maybe later on, there's a rape issue. Oh, as Christians, what do we do about rape? Then later on, there's a church hurt issue. What do we do about church hurt? Why don't we just keep, instead of fixing all these leaves and dig to the roots, is that because we go like, oh, I belong to this particular church. Well, no, we don't believe in what you believe in. This is our church. Oh, that's my pastor. He's my pops. And that's your pops. So it's like us versus them. East Coast, West Coast. Oh, we do this. You don't do that. So we can't marry from your church. Well, you can't marry from our church because we don't really.
That's another thing as well. Yeah, that's another issue where
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, besides
you can't marry from another church. And it's like, I think it was John Gray that said about, how, we have this idea that, we all serve God, but the way people serve God in one church is completely different. Like the American God is different.
Yeah.
In everywhere to everywhere else. And when he said that, I kind of knew, but then when he said it again, I was like, oh, he hit the nail on the head. Because when you look at America and you look at England and you look at some of the other countries in terms of how what their perception of God is, and sometimes you're like, but this surely can't be right. Like, we're supposed to serve one God. So why is it that
exactly
you have this type of doctrine? You have this type of doctrine. Like, that's not quite.
So those are the lines that divide us. And so if a Catholic person comes to a Pentecostal church, he's lost. He has no idea what's going on. That's even a bit too far. If someone from one type of Pentecostal church comes to another Pentecostal church, they're like, oh, that's not how we do it. We take our offerings first before the word. Oh, you guys, we don't sing that song. We sing a song with a guitar. Oh, you guys are singing an Igbo song. We want, hey, my God is good. Oh, I mean, every year we go to New Day with the teenagers, and one time I like to watch the reaction of the new teenagers, those that go to New Day for the first time. New Day is a camp that has over 7,000 teenagers from all over the country come to worship God, and their worship, their praise and worship. Some of my teenagers are like, "What's going on here?" It's like concert. It's not like praise and worship. They're just singing concert songs, and we want fire. Somebody worship, somebody pray. Because that's what they're used to. Which, of course, unity does not necessarily mean uniformity. Did I say that right? Yeah, because we are united doesn't mean we have to do it exactly the same way. But we need to understand that you're different. Your style of worship might be different, but we're still one. That's one thing that underlies us. So what I'm trying to say is, because your question was, how should the church respond to that? First of all, the church needs to deal with a lot of issues, in a sense that, yes, Paul said that we should not let race divide us. We should not let gender divide us. We should not let what church, whatever it is, the only thing that should unite us is Christ. In the sense that, so we won't think that, oh, this is meant for this. And same thing that goes with husband, love your wife like Christ loves the church. If the Spirit of God is really in you, there's a certain way that you would treat. I have a problem. I'm more, when I speak, I feel I connect more with the, let me use the word feminine gender. Right. I connect more with women than with men. I mean, even when my late wife was alive, she always tried to make me be friends with her friends' husbands. We don't have anything. We don't have anything in common. They talk football all day. I can't stand football. I like to read. I like to talk about what I just read, or what's up with, what are you thinking, your level with God. I just like to talk about God. I like to talk about books. I like to talk about movies. And these people want to talk about football. I have nothing to say. Do you get? But yeah. I want to be able to connect and talk with people without them thinking he's a dude, she's a girl, he's married, she's single, or whatever. That is not right. Do you get me?
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, unfortunately, we're interpreting the world the way we met it, not the way he made it. So we always think
that is something.
So the world is now imperfect. It's because it's an imperfect world. You always think that, okay, there's something going on. So I'm thinking, God is saying, I have a message that I believe God has said, you should call Tolu up, tell her da 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 da. If I do now, I'm thinking, wow, is he using Snatcha to chat me up? Yeah. So I'd rather not say anything. But my heart is burning. I'm like, this person, I know that I have a message, and I think your head, you get. But I'm thinking, nah, you know what? Let me just let it be before my good is even spoken of. So unfortunately, this type of world that we live in, so we tend to. What am I saying? I'm lost. I talk too much. But what I'm trying to say is really, we pick out the leaves, we pick out the fruits when we need to deal with the roots.
Right.
So the thing is, even as church members, because we can come online, because people will attack the church saying, what's the church doing? Church is not saying anything. We'll come up online and join the hashtag and join the movement. Then, but supporting and eradicating race, even in our churches, is not by saying we'll not sing local songs. We'll only sing English songs because we are in England. No, it's more than that. It's the way we treat people, the way we relate to people, the way we see them, even people of our own race, our own color. I mean, I've had people who didn't think my ex-wife could speak, was Yoruba. They thought she was Igbo, and they were insulting her in church in Yoruba, thinking she won't hear what they were saying. And you're like, she just smiled. Oh, bless you. Bless you. It's everywhere. It happens. So, but you will still go online and saying hashtag no to racism.
Whereas
tribalistic.
But you've been doing that.
Hey, God forbid my child will never marry someone that is not from my tribe.
That's a sad state of mindset. That's such a bad.
Yeah.
Very, very.
So those are the things we need to address as a church.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you for that. All right. Now, going back to your role as a father, let's talk about you and your late wife, because she sadly passed away last year. Now, can you tell us like the lead up to that, like what happened in the best way you can? So what happened in the lead up to when she passed away, and then the moment she did, what was going through your mind at that particular time?
The lead up, I mean, I don't know. I think everything that has to do, I mean, in hindsight, everything that has, I say that a lot to her, that I think there's a purpose, there's a reason why we met. And marriage, in my opinion, is not just about boy likes girl, boy meets girl, boy likes girl, thinks she's hot. And we always focus on, are we compatible? Are we sexually compatible? Are we this compatible, that compatible? They are important things. But the thing is, because the first time I saw her, I was actually talking, I had a meeting with Deji from Four Corners, and we were having a meeting in a restaurant, and she walked by and I said, my wife just passed. I don't think he heard me. He was like, what's this guy? This guy focused. I said, my wife just passed. And I looked around, and she walked up, sat with her boyfriend and some other guys, and they were having dinner. And I looked, as I was staring at her, I noticed I knew one of the guys. So I walked up there to say, what's up? So the guy I knew, I looked at her, I said, hello. I said, hello to everyone. I sat back. And what? Tolu, what? I see the shock in your eyes.
Wait, and then, at the time she was actually dating someone, and then
she was dating someone,
and then you said that was carry on.
And so I went back to my hotel room, and there was a guy who was a friend of mine, a comedian who we both came from Nigeria for a concert, and he got a call saying, he got a call from her. He was meant to he brought something from Nigeria. Anytime someone comes to bring Chokomilo, bring no. So she was about to get it, but she was like, I can't come to your room. So okay, I'm in a friend's room. So at least we're 3 in the room now. So you'll be safe, don't worry. So she came, and we said, hello. We went out, and she came into the room. We met, and he was like, his friend wanted them to go somewhere for dinner. Do we want to go? So we went. Long story short, while we were there, and we were talking, we got talking, and I knew straight up that was my wife. But a few months before then, I was so sure I wasn't going to get married. Reverend Ronkenodi told me in December that you'll meet your wife this year. I'm like, yeah, right. And I met her. We were at a concert together, and I said, you're going to meet your wife this year. And that was in Nigeria. Then I came to London. I had a concert on the 31st. And that was the day I met her, on the 31st of December. And so by January, anyway, we became friends. Just talking, and I'm like, I have a boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, this is the part where we surgically remove that boyfriend. I will show you the difference between, I show you the difference between like and love. I was so sure.
Wow, the confidence between like and love.
That's it. I think by the 3rd of January, they'd broken up. I know I'm not ready for anything. I said, look, don't know. And she said she wasn't ready for anything. She just broke up from a long relationship. I said, look, the world is going to end soon. Politicians are fighting. Countries are at war. Jesus is really coming soon. The kingdom of our God is no longer at hand, it's at the fingertips. There's no time to waste. Let's get it on. So by the end of January, we started dating. By February, I asked her to marry me. Yeah. By June, I went to meet her parents. By October, we had a wedding. What?
Wait. So from December meeting her to
31st of December.
And then the following year, by October, you guys were married.
Yep, we were married.
Wow!
No time to check time.
No time to check time at all. So here's the thing. Can you then say to the men listening, like, what was it that obviously you said that when she walked by you knew, but what was it that for you that you knew, like, even meeting her again, what was it that for you that was like, this is my wife? Like, you
to be honest,
you knew.
To be honest, I didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't know her that well. And the funny thing was, before that, I had a 4-year relationship I was in. And when that broke up, when you're sure that it's hard to, when you know that you're going to be the bad guy. And I hated being the bad guy. She didn't do anything wrong. There was nothing wrong. The relationship was fine. And what I said, I just knew she wasn't the one. But I couldn't say, you're not the one. So I started to avoid her, which was terrible. Started avoiding her. Hey, how would I say, okay? Because what am I say? It's bad. It's easier to say that I don't love you no more.
Yeah.
Or to say I'm seeing someone else, or I cheated on you, than saying you're not the one. I feel it's meaner to say the Lord said. Of course, I won't say the Lord said, but I just know. Because I feel like, I just know you might know that she's not the one. And like, so what's wrong with me? I'm thinking she'll probably go like, what's wrong with me that I'm not the one? What's not the one about me?
Yeah, she would give that. Yeah. So I guess you had to.
What's not the one about me? Or is it because we try to be celibate and all that? No, it's just because I'm not the one.
It's just not you. It's just not you. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so
I didn't know how to explain that. So I thought, okay, maybe if I avoid her for a bit, she'll be the one to say, you know what? And that's what happened. I'm going to do what you don't want to do. I'm going to cut this off. All right. Peace, bye. And it hurt me, but I couldn't show her that I was hurt. But I just knew. I was like, okay, so what was going to happen? So that's why she was shocked that, so was there someone already? Because the next thing I know, you're married.
And that's the problem, because a lot of when guys do that, it's just like, wait, so all the time you really had somebody.
Because we broke up. She broke up with me in October. I'd not even met my wife then. I met her December 31st. She broke up with me in October, December 31st. So, because as at that time I said, you know what? I don't think this marriage thing is going to be my thing. It's not going to work for me. I'll probably be one of them. I'm like, God, we have to make an arrangement because I don't know what we're going to do. But without going all the way, but I don't think this marriage is going to work. But so when I met her, I was like, okay. And so, but what I'm saying is, then she was like, we had talks, like, they already said this word that she's never going to have a child. That a lot of gynae issues, hereditary, that her mom, after her mom never had kids for up until 7 years ago, before her mom had twins. Her mom's sister, so they had a history of that, and I was like, leave that to it. Look, I don't know what's going on, but I sense purpose. I had to leave everything behind. I left my music, I left my career, I came, and we had, when she was pregnant for the first child, it was ectopic. The doctor said the baby was going outside the womb, that they needed to flush it. I said, it's not happening. I'm not flushing nothing. And so we signed ourselves out of the hospital. The next thing, a few months later, she went back to the hospital, and they said the baby will die in her. And it's going to affect her. She probably would die and all that. And they were like, yeah, we'll take our chances. Next day, we went back when she wasn't feeling too good. Said, okay. And they checked, they found out that the baby, one way or the other, is still growing. So we had that baby. And then we had, I don't know if the screen has frozen or you're just, oh,
I'm
okay, I
just,
saw you just blink. I saw you just blink, so I could tell that
no,
the screen's not frozen.
I'm just kind of like, whoa. So can I just touch upon something real quickly? So when they said that the
Okay.
baby was
Ectopic.
and and your wife is like, oh my gosh, no. Why? What made you say no? This is it. Is it because of you as a man that your faith was just like, nah, my faith is not gonna allow that. Like, I believe in God. Like this, she's gonna have her child. Like, what
I
was
think
your
it was both our faiths. It wasn't just me. Well, I strongly believe that there was a purpose for me, and there was a reason. I was still very excited about what God was going to do. I'd always been saying that it might not be something glamorous, but I'm ready for it. So I didn't know what was what, but I was sure that we would take our chances with that. I was just so sure, and she was down with that too. If she wasn't, then that would have been a different case.
Yeah.
That I would have said, okay, but this is what I believe. I'll keep it to myself, but we'll go with what you want to, because at the end of the day, it's her body, and all that. So, but we both believed, we both prayed about it, and we had 7. And after a while, next thing, they said, oh, this is just once in a lifetime thing. It's never gonna happen again. Blah 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 blah. Then we had Trinity. When she was pregnant for the second one, Trinity, she had issues with her pelvis, so she was using. We're talking about her health condition, so she was using crutches all through the pregnancy. And the funny thing is, I mean, I have 4 children, and people be like, "You guys have been busy. You guys have 4 children," and I get that a lot, and I just look at them as if only you knew. Because I feel every single child and every single time she got pregnant, it was because she's had, I mean, I'm talking about from the wedding night, I could sense that things started going wrong, I mean, health-wise. So things and we went through all of that. And a lot of people don't know how much we went through day after day after day after day, up until, she got really sick, to the extent that we didn't know until January last year that she was 2019, that she was pregnant, and we had a baby. We had a baby in March, and we're like, with all the treatments, with all the medication, I was so sure that the baby wasn't gonna make it. I was so sure, and then I went to pray. I prayed, and God gave me a word that as the rain comes from the earth and makes the earth. And so I was, but what I'm trying to say is, with everything that's been happening up on for about 3 years before she passed, I felt God has been more or less preparing me for her passing. One, in terms of taking care of her, the children, the house. I would have to get the children ready for school, take them to school, take her to the hospital, come back, sort out the children. So I was already doing all of that. Then also, my mind has really been going on about the eternal, just, not being too attached to this world and everything in it. So that's been my thought. And when she passed, I realized that God sent me to meet her, have these children, and prepare her to meet him. Wow. So it wasn't just about boy meets girl, boy likes girl, and all of that. There was a purpose to it. And I was able to, yes, she was a Christian. She was, the church she used to go to, she was in the protocol team then before we met and all of that. Yeah, but she didn't know God per se. So we had that relationship and we had that walk with God. And then she started asking questions. Like the last time we had a friend of mine, Word MC, come spend the weekend, because we always do Bible study on the phone, and she's always asking me questions, and we're talking for 2-3 hours. And my wife just said, why don't you just tell her to come spend the weekend? I thought, okay. So she came, she spent the weekend, and we started going into the Bible, into the Word. We watched a movie, I started dissecting it. Next thing, my wife just went off and started preaching for about an hour, 2 hours, on and on, to the extent where MC brought out her phone and started recording her voice. But this is too deep. I can't keep up writing it. I have to record it. And I was just looking at that. I was proud that the student has become the master. I was like, she was even saying some deep things that I didn't even know. And so I felt So that morning, she just woke up. I woke up in the morning, was getting the kids ready for school, and I heard her scream, saying that she couldn't breathe. And eventually, we had 3 ambulances, we had the fire department, we had all sorts of people in the house trying to, revive her. But when she passed, the first thing I did, I just locked myself up in the room with her, and I started to sing and dance.
Wow.
It was painful. It was hurt. I was hurt, but I understood the fact that I started seeing everything clearly.
Mm.
How we met. I was happy at how she died, in the sense that she knew God. She didn't know God in the sense that I go to church. She became Toto of Wizard of Oz. She became the boy who said to everyone that the emperor is wearing no clothes. Basically, what she questioned religion in the right way, with endless curiosity and endless compassion. That why are we doing this? Why is that? This is not what Christ said. That why are we not focusing on Christ? Why are we being very motivational in our speech? Why are we not more of him and less of who we are? And she was able to invest in people. Look around, and I look at how much we're thinking about her life. She was one of the individual that hardly received love. I'm talking from anyone.
Really?
Hardly. But she kept giving back. She kept giving. People, she was very nice. She was very helpful. She was very thoughtful. She was very resourceful. But she just didn't feel like she was getting
the love back from
the
people.
love back. Although I always say to her that then where if you're not getting the love back, then where are you getting the love that you're given? Because you can't give what you don't have, which means you're probably looking at the wrong places or the wrong people, but just keep giving, just keep doing. Someone will upset her so much, she'll be so vexed, so upset, that the next moment she's thinking, how can I help this person? How can I give back to the person? And she did so much. She poured a lot into people's lives. And I was so happy to see that happen. So my reaction, like you said, like you asked, was initially I was just submitting to God that I understand. It hurts me that you have to make this, that this has to happen. But I understand. I'm happy as where she was when it happened. It's later on that the reality started, I think the reality started to sip in bit by bit, every now and then. Maybe the kids do something and I wish she was there, or I just sit down and when I get a moment, I realize that she's no longer here. She won't see this, she won't see that. Or sometimes the kids go, oh, I miss mommy, I wish mommy was here, things like that. And yeah, that's when.
So what was your grieving process like? Like, how did you, because obviously in that moment when when you were with her when she passed away, before everybody else and you were dancing, like after that, like what was your grieving process like? Because people deal with grief in so many ways. Some don't deal with it and then it later affects them, or you start seeing the effects in the daily things in their life, or and just how they change themselves. So for you, like, what was your grieving process like, from when she passed away and to afterwards?
I don't know. I think the first thing I did was just go, because the kids still had to go to school. I didn't want to change their routine. So I had to take them to school, take them for brownies, take them for rainbows, take them for after school club, take them every Friday, do our movie nights, take them to Adventure Island, do the things we usually do on a weekly and daily basis, and all of that. And we had so many people come into the house. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm happy to see everybody. That days I'm like, oh, just people should go now. And, then, because I don't know how to grieve. I don't know how to deal with. I don't know how to. So
is it because you've never had to deal with grief, or is it because you just don't know how to deal with it?
My dad passed. When my dad passed, it was very painful for me. My dad passed, and a very close friend of mine too passed. When she passed, it was hard for me. But I think it was easier because I didn't have to go to the funeral. I didn't have to plan the funeral. You know, I just had to,
Show
it
up.
was different. Yeah, so, and I started to cry. I want to cry. No, it wasn't coming. But a few days later, I was on the phone with her dad, and we were talking, and he was trying to tell me, the things happening in life. And next night, I just started to cry. I cried for about 2 hours.
Wow.
And when I was crying, I'm like, oh, what's going on? What is this cry thing they speak of? And all that. And, I did that for a bit. Then sometimes when I take two kids to school, because I have a child in nursery that finishes at 12, I drop everybody at 8. Someone is done by 12, so I have to hang around, get the one that's done by 12, then come back, then go back to get the rest at 4 or 3. So, but once I dropped them off, I just walked to the beach and sat by the beach and just started thinking. I was just numb. So another day I went from just going, go, 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 because there was so much to do. We're planning for the funeral. After the funeral, the kids had to still go to school. We had to sort this out, sort that out. So there was so much to do. So I'm not sure. I just numb. Some days I'm just like, yeah. Some people will come on, my brother, it is well. And in my head, I'm thinking, it is well. Why did your wife die? And now, why?
Wow.
And I'm saying to you, my brother, it is well. Or someone comes, I'm like, I know you nasty. You should have gone, And then I'm like, nah. So I went through all of that, and also I went through it's just me, 4 children, and all that. And I also went through I don't want anyone to pity me. I don't want anyone to look at me as the da. And then I went to, why are they not pitying me? And so I went through all different sort of stages. I don't know. I still don't know if I've actually really grieved. I'm not sure if I have, because I have so much I'm still doing, so much then I stop when I hear something or I see something. I don't know. So I really want, but I feel I'm all right in the sense that God gives grace.
True.
And
And
I'm not speaking Christianese though. I actually mean, I'm grateful for the support I get from friends, from family, from my church. But of course, when it comes down to what it comes down to, it's just you and the children. And sometimes at 12 midnight or about 3 a.m. in the morning, one of my daughters will wake up and say, I want mommy, I miss mommy. I wish mommy didn't die, and I have to talk her out of that.
So two things. The first one is, have you thought about getting therapy, seeing someone for it? Because obviously this is a grieving process, and I think we, like I said before, we all handle grief differently, but I think we have to literally heal from that grief, or at least try to be in a better place, so that your mind space. Have you thought about therapy? And also secondly, your children, were they all old enough? Were the first 3 old enough to know what's happened, and how have they processed that losing their mum?
Well, I'll start from the second one. The second one, immediately happened. After a while, I that same day, I spoke to the children. I told them this is what has happened. Mom has gone to be with God. She's an angel now. She's watching over you. She's kind of like a superhero now. And they got excited about that. My first daughter, who's 7 at the time, is going to be 8 this year. She cried. And I didn't want them to see people coming in crying. So I told a friend of mine to take them for a week, for about 2 weeks, for about a week. And when they were driving past the hospital, one of my daughters said, "Oh, mommy's at the hospital." And because they're used to her being
Going
there.
to the hospital, yeah.
Yeah. And the other one said, "No, mommy's in heaven now." And all that. And later on, when she got to school, she thought it was something, to boast about. So she thought, "Oh, my mom's in heaven now." "Where's your mom?" "Bet not there." And, she thought that was something kind of like, my mom knows Michelle
It's a
Obama.
cool thing, like, yo,
What
my
does
mom
your mom know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and all that. But later on, I spoke to the school that if they have some sort of therapy, they should. So she got into therapy. But because my second daughter, is everything to her is a joke, so you don't really know what's up. And my first daughter internalizes, so you know how you have to know each one of them and how they deal with things, and their individual being.
Yeah.
And so I had to treat them individually as they are. And I know, and yeah, so that's, and for me, therapy, nah, it's not going to work for me. Not because I'm a guy.
Why'd
Well,
you
oh,
say that?
God, before you bury me. Not because I'm African,
Wait a
not because
minute.
I'm a guy. Okay, maybe a little bit because I'm African, maybe a little because I'm a guy. Maybe a little bit, maybe. But I don't know. I don't, it's just because I'm talking to you, I don't talk to people about me, my stuff. But I know you're not. I don't do it. So I don't know how to. And before she passed, she said, it's been 3-4 years since you've been taking care of me and the children. You need to talk to someone. That in the UK, you don't particularly have a friend. There maybe one or two, maybe they G4 corners, or one or two people that you say are your friends. And in Nigeria, you probably have, maybe you don't really have one or two. You have a lot of acquaintances, but you don't have friends.
Like your friends, the ones that you can say that like
Yeah.
are your buddies. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know what. We'll now hold hands and swing and what, have the same Powerpuff Girls headbands and nah, I don't do that. Not because I'm trying to be hard or anything, but it's just, I don't know. And I think so I said to her that I think my issue with me is I have linked my mental state with God. It might sound very Christianese, but that is just what it is. And that's one of the kind of things that helped me with, because I told her one time that you make me happy, but you don't give me joy. Because yes, that's what she did when I told her. Like, are you crazy? I'm about to break bottles here. I say, because my joy, I've decided, Bible says that with joy shall you draw out from the wells of salvation. My joy is not tied to a thing or a person. My happiness is tied to her. She makes me so happy. She's the best thing, person, being that's ever happened to me ever. But because my joy is tied to God, anytime I feel depressed, anytime I feel down, I look at my relationship with him to see how far have I gone. When I tell people, when you talk about husbands who cheat, or people who rape, people who do bad things, it's not as if I'm not capable of these things. But because I'm tied to, because of who I'm connected to, I always think twice. I'm like, it took me so long to build this relationship. If I mess it up, it's gonna be hard. So I don't want to mess it up. And also the way I see people, I try to see people through his eyes. So it's not as if when I come and I see young girls looking pretty and looking at like I'm not good, woo. I'm like, no, it's not because I'm a better person or I was raised better. Yes, I was raised well, but not because I was raised well or raised better. Because I always go like, man, because my joy is tied to him. So, and when the devil comes, he comes for what is related to your joy. So when we lost money, because my joy wasn't tied to money, it didn't affect me. When I gave up rooftop MCs and my music, my career in Nigeria, I moved here where almost no one knows me, as to more or less start all over again. It didn't affect me. It was easy when God says, drop it now and stop. I could drop it because my joy wasn't tied to it. So when she passed, it was painful, but there was still joy inside of me. I don't know if I'm making sense. There's still joy inside of me. So, and it's not a matter of, here we go again with this Christian stuff. If not, then why bother with this Christian stuff?
Right.
So I sit down and like, God, this is what's going on. And the first time I didn't ask him why. A friend of mine was on the phone and was like, on my behalf, he was asking God why. I said, I didn't ask God why. I said, what next? Because I expect that me and her, she had visions, she had dreams that we were going to pursue with together. She was helping, doing stuff with people, for people. I was already helping her out. This is how we'll build it. We'll buying books, helping her set this up, helping her set that up. She was helping me with my career and the things I was doing. And I mean, my last concert, I didn't even want to do it. She was like, no, you have to do it. And I was like, no. But she put everything together. before I knew what was going on. The other day I was clearing the house, I found her prayer book, and the first on her list was my career, the children, our health. That's what's on our prayer list. Our health was number 3. So what I'm saying, but the thing is, it's always connected to God. Sometimes we're sitting down, we're watching a movie, and I just said, I'll be back. She knows that I just get up all of a sudden, and I'm up. I'm going to spend some time with God, and I'm just praying, or just chilling, or just being quiet, because that's where my joy is tied to, nothing else. I can be as good as the best of them, or as bad as the worst. I feel like being quoting me, but because of who my joy, or what my joy is tied to, which is God, it refrains me or holds me from doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
I could be as terrible as any other person. I could be a bad guy. And sometimes I'll be like, hi, God, this is what I just saying now, this guy, brother. If I show them, the real me, if not for you, just to see if I still got it. But the love of God holds me back. So, but yeah. And I'm not saying that to say therapy is bad. I'm saying that to say this is what worked for me, what has worked for me.
So would you then advise that, look, people deal with grief differently, but it's still important for you to talk to someone, at least? Yeah,
and the truth is, what happens is then God begins to handpick and send people my way. Because sometimes you get people who are, yes, they're professionals, they can do it well, but you tell them that either going to abort your process or help you like a midwife to birth it. You get? So some people are either going to make it worse or whatever by following the textbook, and because I know what's wrong with me, I know what I'm dealing with, and sometimes in my head I'm thinking, yes, you have the textbook knowledge, you've read about it, but have you experienced it? Have you sat where I sat?
Yeah.
So you can only tell me what you read in the book. How about you give me that book? That was the issue I had with uni when I was in uni, and I thought, oh, this lecturer will go, read a textbook, then come to the class, regurgitate what he read, then test me on it. How about I go buy the book and read it? Because who tests the test anyway? So, because before you put that idea from the street into a textbook and print it, the game has changed outside. So I was saying that I'm not afraid to be like Toto the dog, who, for those who know Wizard of Oz, who pokes religion in the face and draws the curtain to say, that's not wizard, that's a tiny dog with a big megaphone, and expose religion for really what it is. But I'm not afraid to say, look, this, that, and the other. I'm not afraid to question and ask God, dude, why? And don't give me that I know best thing. Just what's up? And before she passed, a few months before she passed, we watched this movie,
Yes.
It was that movie we watched, and I have a voice note of an hour. I don't know if you might listen to my new song. It's called Everything. That snippet was a few seconds from an 2-hour-long conversation she had with Word MC. And I listened to that 2-hour conversation, and it was speaking to me. It helped me a lot. And she mentioned there that sometimes these things happen. And even though we can't ask God why, but we have to trust that he loves us. And there's no way we can love that person more than he does. So if he decides that this is the time to take the person, he knows best. So I have to just take it and accept it, because at the end of the day, this life, well, none of us is getting out of life.
Well, this is a thing, and I just love the fact, I guess the way that you've just been, explaining it all, because some people will be listening and thinking, no way, that can't be, like, how is he so, like, how is he so okay, yes, he has his ups and downs, but like, how can he still be so? But then again, like you said, it's the way that you've dealt with it, and of course having God in your life, and the fact that he's the one that gives you joy in all that you do. That's why you're still able to literally get through it. And like you said, you have people in your life that are helping, that he's put in your place, so that you're able to walk and see things through, which is amazing, because some people think it's just they need to do it by themselves, but that's not.
I have people,
you still have,
thank God for the church I go to. I have people who just come, show up, sit down with me. Some won't even say anything. And some people just come. Sometimes some people even say the wrong things, and but people just come around, and that's what I say. We're trying to someone like, I pity you.
Why would you say that to someone? And that's always the frustrating thing. So tell us, what things should you not say to someone who's grieving?
Oh, I was going to write a book about the top 10 dumb things people have said to me since she passed.
Please tell us, school us a little bit, because it's really frustrating. Because I think sometimes for me, when if I know someone who's grieving, I'm there for them, and sometimes like it means me just not saying anything, and I'm just there.
Yeah, just don't say anything.
Yeah, but they know that I'm there.
Yeah,
and I didn't say anything. So school
sometimes don't even say it as well.
Yeah, just
don't say that.
Wow, tell us more.
I mean,
what kind of things not to say?
I've heard I pity you. I've heard in the first 3 days, by the third day, before the third day, so like, and there's no woman that can marry you now, single man with 4 children. You know, you're not exactly hot cake. Oh yeah, someone told me that. And he was really with a straight face. He was really, as in, it looked like he had thought about it. A single guy.
Was it coming from a woman or man?
A man, a guy. So maybe, and the guy now said, maybe it's Oyinbo people that will actually an Oyinbo woman, because you know that they are crazy people.
Oh my God.
And I was just like this. I was like,
wait, so he had the audacity to say that to your face? To your face?
I know. The thing is, he said it like he was really concerned. That he had been thinking about.
What did you do?
I was just looking. I was just. What am I? Because usually I would say, I'm a king of sarcasm or straight up attacks. I just left it. Or someone that said that we're doing a project, and someone like, okay, fine, I understand that his wife has passed, and that's sad, but like they say in showbiz, the show must go on.
Jesus. Oh my God. Wow. Wow.
Aha! Someone said to me, now get this, an ex said to me, came to my DM and said, how are you? I said, I'm fine. How are you dealing with it? I'm trying. You and 4 kids. You need help. Come and marry me now. Let me help you and take care of the children. I'm not done. Then she said something like, well, I'm not going to say that what goes around comes around, but if you hadn't broken up with me, maybe I'm just saying, basically, if we're dating, if you married me, I wouldn't have died on you.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I'm serious. I wouldn't have died on you if you had married me. I'm like, okay, block. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna write a book about it. About everything.
Listen,
things
I think
my ears have heard.
My gosh, wow. So the audacity for them to actually say that, and your ex as well, like, wow. Yeah. And is she married?
No.
You see?
Marriedless.
You see? Wow. I cannot believe the audacity of some people. That is so crazy. Wow.
I just
okay, so I hope if you're listening to this, okay, that you don't say things like that to someone who's just grieving, especially who's married and just lost someone, whether they're female or male. You just can't go around saying that. Sometimes it's best not to say nothing at all and just say, you know what, my condolences to you. So okay, so now that these people have like kind of said this nonsense, because it's just, I think it's ridiculous. I can't believe it, to be honest with you. So mad. Yeah. You talked about dealing with it and how you dealt with it. Did you feel at any point that you're, because everybody's so big on mental health, and especially men as well, and as a father, even because there's more pressure on you, how has your mental health been through all this? Because apparently men are starting to talk, because before they would never talk about their problems and their issues and whatnot, and it affected their mental health. We're talking about their stress levels, depression. We're talking about like just having the right sort of mind frame, mindset, everything like that. how was yours, and how was it then, and how is it now? Do you feel that it's in a stable way, or yeah?
I don't know. You tell me, because at first I felt, when she passed, I was a bit confused in the sense that I was happy because this is what I preach, so I should believe it.
Right.
I was happy because I know where she is. I'm confident where she is, that she's fine. And given a choice, she'd rather be there than where I am. And at the same time, I hate the fact that she's not here. So it's confusing. So there are times when I'm so excited, I'm like, whoa, she made it before me, Sha, and all that. I can imagine what she's doing then. And people are around, and I know they're watching me, they'll be thinking, this guy that is not even wailing and crying, I hope he didn't go and use his wife to do jazz. That's what I mean. Sorry, I have a very crazy imagination. I'm just thinking, sometimes I look at people like, is that what you're thinking? So I'm like, okay, so when they come, I can't fake cry. So just to, so I started doing, but in the times when I feel like, oh my God, I'm just thinking, what will she be doing right now? She'll be so excited because she see me right now. And that's what I want to go like, woo, okay. So what will she have me do next? I'm with the kids and all that. And I'm thinking, these people would think that this guy is not even feeling this thing. So
like,
I think,
did he really love his wife? Did he really love his wife?
Yeah, then I just got to a point. Yeah, when I got to a point where I felt that, look, God brought me to this island for my training, and I went through all these things that I went through. He knew that he was going to need her back at a particular point in time, so he needed someone to build her up and prepare her to meet him. So he sent me forth. And when all of that happened, and when she had gone, and God wanted to soften the blow that I would receive, so he made it gradual, and he prepared me sort of. No, I didn't know she was going to die, but God more or less prepared me how I was going to sort the kids out. I was going to do that and do all of the other things. I let her handle everything. She's good with the books. She's good with the money. Because I like, look, when I make money, I like to spend it and spend it immediately. I just buy some ridiculous things I don't need. So I just told her, look, you know what? Even if my money, your money, just take the money and just
do what you need to do with it. Like, look after it. Yeah.
I don't care. I don't need it. But I'm used to looking at the menu from the name. She's used to looking at the menu from the right to the left. I look at it from the left to the right. I check the name. That's all I check.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what's it? Then she was like, look at the price list first before what is £5, and all that. So I like, you sort that out. And so I felt that I had to mentally felt that I needed time in the sense that I needed time alone with the kids away to just, because before she passed, she was like, I think you need to go away. Just go away, travel somewhere where you're alone and just relax. Stay for 3 days, stay for a week, and come back. So I still feel I need that, but thank God for Corona and everything that's been happening.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just felt that I needed a break in terms of I've been taking care. I've not been no one's taking care of me, but hey, I'll take care of myself. This is life. But yeah. I just needed that time out to just chill and get myself back again. And yeah. So, but that's what I feel at the most mentally. And like I said earlier, and it's not Christianese, my mental state is stuck with Christ. And so I feel, when I feel down and depressed, I always look at myself that I feel far away from him. So I try to get back to him, and I always wonder, those that don't know him, how do they do it? I don't know how. I would have really, really wrecked it. And that and to an atheist or someone who doesn't know might think that that's a coping strategy for Christians. Well, it's working for me. And I'm not saying it's working for me like they say, oh, I pay my tithe, so it's working for me. No, I don't mean that. I mean, my mind is actually calm. I meditate also. I have a Christian meditation app that I use in the morning and at night, that I just spend time, just free my mind and just meditate. Yeah, so I think that's what's been helping me really.
Wow, fantastic. Gosh, man, it's just really interesting to hear it from like a man's perspective, because we talk about widows, but we and genuinely it applies to.
No one cares about the guys.
Yeah, and I do.
Because society.
I care about guys and being widows because
You care about that?
of course.
Okay.
But
That sounds different.
I think it's just that we need to see more from a man's perspective because they don't talk about their emotions much. They don't talk about feelings. They don't talk about what they're going through at times. And I think it's
society expects them to be tough,
right,
to be hard,
right,
to be a man.
And I think it's fine to be a man, but I think it's also
I don't understand what that means.
They should allow them to be a man, but allow them to show their emotions, allow them to feel, because they're almost like they're not allowed to feel anything, and like you can only hear but not feel, and then that then causes issues in relationships when you with your wife, with your partner, with your kids as well. Because, and also, do you feel that if you weren't the way you are, like an open person and someone who's aware of their feelings, do you think you would have struggled with your relationship with your kids as well?
Oh yeah, I will struggle. I'll struggle with my relationship with the kids. I'll struggle with my relationship even with her. I mean, because Corona is really exposing a lot of people in the sense that couples, in the sense that my wife and I, she's worked from home, and I do music, I do other things but which has to be from home. We've been in each other's spaces for the past 8 years, every single day, every single day. We've never had a fight. I mean, like never had. We argue over stuff, but we've never had a serious fight. I mean, we've gone through a huge financial blows, evicted 3 times, never had a fight.
Wow.
Yeah. When it's a business, lost money. One of it was even my fault because I didn't do my due diligence. But we lost money and we never had a fight. Lost all our savings, never had a fight. We argued about stuff. We let things be, but we never had a fight. Never had I'm done with this. Never had to have anyone come settle our issues. We fought over someone else. Look at what your friend did, or look at what that did, or can you imagine these people? But never had a fight. So if we weren't in that, and there was no such thing as this is a man's job, this is a woman's job, this is this person's job. I mean, then it would be hard for me to, when she wasn't feeling too well. It was easy for me to be able to cook the way she cooks, because while she's cooking, I'm sitting with her in the kitchen and we're talking. So when she was sick, so that day, that week stuff, she was like, okay, for me while I stare that. So I'm and all that. Then when she couldn't stand in the kitchen, I was the one cooking. And sometimes you're like, that the way you make that your palm oil stew with that and that and that, can you make that for me? Or the way you make your yakisoba, I make amazing yakisoba. The way you make your yakisoba, can you make that so I could, and then I developed the ability to go in the kitchen later on. So people will come and wonder, why is your husband in the kitchen? Because she holds in so much pain. They don't see her in pain. They don't know how sick she is. And they're wondering why she's sitting down and watching TV while he's in the kitchen cooking for her and bringing it to her in the living room. And they will call me aside to say, why are you doing that?
Is that a woman that would say that? Or was that a man that would say that?
Both.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, I would think you'd be like, oh, he's a catch. If you lose him, I'll take him.
I guess, isn't that old school mentality? Because it seems like it's like an old, very.
That's why it's good as a hashtag.
Aunties and uncles who have.
It's good as a hashtag, but really, it's good as a hashtag. You want a man like that, but you probably don't want your brother to marry a woman like that.
Sure.
You don't want your brother to be a man like that. That's just how it is. So you see where this problem is.
It's a problem. It's such a problem. Like, there's nothing wrong with a man going into the kitchen. Like, I was in the call the other day, and the guy was the husband was the one in the kitchen doing the food, plating it up, everything like that. And it's just like, why is there such a problem with a man doing something that a woman can do? Like, let him be the man. Let him do what he needs to do. If he wants to, allow him. Don't question it and think, oh, shouldn't that? You don't know the situation of the dynamics of that relationship.
Exactly.
One can't say,
so just let it be.
It should be him or it should be her. No, it's supposed to be her really doing this. And it's like, no, just let him do what he needs to do. Let him be the man and let him do this and that. Okay, now, in terms of your children, who was more the disciplinarian? Was it you, or was it your wife? And how?
It's me.
I'm
bad cop.
You're the bad cop. So how do you
I'm
now, as a
bad.
dad, as a father, like what kind of discipline things do you do for your kids that?
Because now sometimes I go like, then I, okay, come. Then I hug them. They're huggers. They like to hug so much. But I'm quick to, then I calm down. I remember her, or I just calm down. So now what I do is because later on we developed something, because she was like, you can't keep shouting. You can't keep doing like that. And so we developed in this house, this is how we do. So it's not like there are rules, but we have a culture. Our culture is to be nice. Our culture is when you wake up, you say good morning, because this is how we do. So it's not a rule, but it's just how we do. Yeah. Then basically there are repercussions. So if you do that, so they have really nice things. So I take away the nice things, and they feel that a lot more. So I've noticed that they're very emotional. So when I say things like I'm disappointed in you, that gets them. So I try not to use it because I'm going to affect their ego and all of that. So, but I just take away their whatchamacallit, their
privileges,
yeah,
their privileges, like the things that you're
I just take that away.
Your goodness, you do that.
Like, okay, but I mean, the worst is if I say this Friday, for what you've done, there is no movie night this Friday. They will shape up. They will cry for this because they know that I'm going to have to make milkshake, and my milkshakes are world class. Don't even try it. So they know. So once I say there's no movie night this Friday, they will shape up.
Gosh. I love it. All right. So so I got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is do you see yourself getting married again? Has that ever crossed your mind, or it's at the moment it's like I don't even think about that? But do you see yourself getting married again, and how do you think it will be approached, or how do you think women will now see you as a widower with 4 kids?
Now you're asking me that question. Okay, let me see. First of all, I don't know, in the sense that I'm afraid of it, in terms of, number one, I feel I will compare everyone to her, especially in terms of behavior, in terms of who she is, how supportive she is, and all of that. I feel like I'll compare everyone to her. So I don't want to do that. 1, 2, I'm more concerned about my children, really. Yes, we do feel lonely. I do feel alone. I do feel like I need some grown-up conversation. But I'm more concerned about my children, how they would take, just about them, their well-being and all of that stuff. And I know that, yes, when it's time for that, I'm not looking for a nanny. There are people that are paid to do that. I'm not looking for a cook. I'm not looking for someone who cooks and cleans and comes with a 3-year warranty. No, I'm so that's not what I'm looking. What I probably will be looking for when it gets to that point. But I don't know, really. I don't know if I could get over that, because right now it's not even on the list. I mean, right now, if I deceive myself to say that, oh, maybe because my body is doing bish, or because of anything, if I get into the person will be so hurt.
That's
you understand?
Right.
It's going to be terrible, because it's going to end badly. It's so going to end badly. So I don't know. I don't know.
But do you
but
think?
I know.
Do you think it will be when you feel that you are ready to like be in a relationship with someone? Do you think your kids will be at a certain age, maybe like the university end of the, and then or not? Maybe not.
7 years old. 7. They get to university, I'll be 60 something, and I'll be looking for them at 60 something, when I should be right.
Okay, maybe not then. All right. So basically,
I don't know. Really, I don't know. The thing is, for me, it's not going to be, oh, she just passed. It's not going to be, oh, let me give time because of anything. I'm just going to let God do what God will do, in terms of, and and I just want to focus on the first things being first, and just let it happen, because I know that if I step into a relationship right now, it will be for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it was almost like a rebound kind of thing, and you're not
exactly
the authentic feelings that you should have is not there. It's just
yeah.
it's just not really. It's just because of
It's
where
not.
you're
It's not.
at. You
Yeah.
need someone to replace them. You need someone to be a mama to the kids, and you need this and that. And it's just like it's not really because I want to be with that person, which is
Yeah.
a shame.
Exactly.
And that. Okay, so what are your hopes, and what also are your fears as well?
I hope that COVID will go soon. Okay, I'll try not to be Christianese. Let me think of something else.
What you will do?
What?
What you will do?
I don't know. For me, my hope is to, I don't know, to be better. I really, I'm trying to give this compassion thing a serious goal.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I mean, I feel like I'm a people person, but at the same time, people are a lot of work.
Yeah.
People are a lot of work, and trying really to unconditionally love people and not expect the worst, just unconditionally, whoever, whatever. Yeah, so that's it. I'm trying to do that more. So, I mean, reading up a lot on that and just trying to test myself with that and push myself to that limit. Also trying to be a better person. So that's what I'm hoping, that I will become a better person, and, being able to juggle all those things at the same time and, do the things that are needful. Yeah, I guess.
And especially and your hopes for your kids as well. Like, what are your hopes?
Yeah, well, I hope they will be better and do well in school, and I mean, I already see them as better people, and just don't hope that this thing. I can see that it doesn't scar them, and it's not like they're moving on. I mean, they come once in a while to tell me that, oh, I miss mommy, or I wish mommy was here, or they just randomly see me just staring in space and just come and hug me.
Oh.
Just give me a hug out of the blue. I'm like, unhand me, you, and all that. So, but yeah. So yeah, my hope for them. Oh, I mean, I know for a sure fact that they're fine. They will be fine. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
yeah.
And do you think it was? I don't want to ask this question, but I'm going to. But do you think it was?
Okay, go into.
It was. Do you think it was better for it to have happened to them this young now, rather than when they were older, or would you have preferred it if they were a little bit older and being able to more deal with it? Because.
Let me see how to answer it. When would I have preferred for my wife to have died?
You don't want to. Okay. Wait. You see what I'm saying? That's why I didn't want to ask it. That's why I'm just getting asked, because I'm just like, how do I?
I think it's more. It's what's the word? I hate to use the word tolerable, because tolerable is a bad word. Forget whether you like it or not. Intolerance is not a good word, but I think it was it's tolerable now because they're young. For them being young, it's tolerable. I mean, they have, every once in a while I ask them about the memories of their mom, and we all share that, we talk about it and laugh about that. But I think it's easier now.
Yeah.
If it was later on, it would be harder.
It
would be a lot harder for them.
All right, so in closing, what's your advice for fathers who are widows as well? Like, what would your word be for men in this situation, and to encourage them?
For me, when it first happened, one of the things also that I was going to say is that I didn't think that it was going to stop the pain. There was pain in my heart. It didn't look like it was going to stop. It didn't look like I was going to be able to breathe. I couldn't breathe. There was this overwhelming fear that came upon me. It didn't seem like it was going to stop. I knew it would, but it just didn't seem like it was going to stop. But it will stop. It does stop. And the children are there, that they will draw strength from you. And I feel that one of the things that made it easy for them is the fact that daddy wasn't wallowing or anything. Daddy kept it going for them. It's hard, yes, but yes, you have to be strong for them. And at the same time, if it's help you need, you have to get help for yourself, so that you can be strong for them. Because if you're faking it, they're gonna see it and all that. And yes, sometimes they comfort you because each child is is an individual, and they're different. So they treat me based on their individuality. They support me. My children support me. I mean, they're amazing kids. I just have to say so. They come, they hug me, they ask me if I need help, they ask me if I'm okay randomly and things like that. So yes, they're going through stuff, but they can deal with it, and they would also strengthen you. You can get strength from them. So really, get the help you need for their sake. Push on. Also, when it comes to when you're now ready to find someone or look for someone or get someone, as much as don't just be, because I can be of the, oh my God, now I've been taking care of someone so long, now she's passed, I need someone to come and take care of me. And not think about the children, not think about all of that. You have to put them first. You have to put them in that place. Also, it's not someone who, it shouldn't be someone who's going to come and cook and clean and because you need someone to be a nanny for the children. No, it should be someone that you can vibe with, someone you can hang with, where you can talk with. For a long time, I thought, oh, marry, hey, I couldn't wait till I get married so I can have all the sex in this world. And then I got married, and she was sick all the time. So what we had was conversation. Had loads and loads of conversation. And I thinking that me, without sex, I would die. But and people thinking, oh, you people have 4 children, you must be having loads of it. I wish. But we had loads of conversation, loads of just loads of laughter. And we're in the same house 247 looking at each other's faces. Just talking. Just hanging. And then when people come, bet me, everyone that's ever come to visit us, when you leave, we will gossip about you. And talk, and we will talk about. And and after when people even came and people were leaving, I'm like, I just wish she was there to say, can you imagine? This I was just crying like they were good, and yeah. So, but basically, think about the children before you think about your needs and how you just want to be loved. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Definitely. Wow.
Get the help. Focus on the kids.
Absolutely, yeah. Get the help and focus on the kids, which is very important. But yeah, honestly, thank you so much. Like I feel like there's more that we could talk about because obviously, but we can't go on and on and on and on and talk about it because I think you've dealt with the main thing, which was like your health, your emotions moving forward, and the future for your kids as well. And and I think one of the questions I should have asked was really like, do you ever fear for your son in terms of like in the climate that we're going into now, and do you think that will change? Like you pray for a better future for him, so that he doesn't get stopped and searched just for being a man and just,
Well, I see it as it's up to me and the way I raise him and the things I teach him. First of all, I believe that there's a calling upon his life, especially the word God gave me concerning him. And I just can't shake it off. That's who I am. I'm a Christian, and my worldview is shaped based on that. So he's special. So I'm raising him to based on how I raise him and how I teach him to relate to others. I've always told my girls that there are only 2 different type of people in this world. They're the good guys, and then they're the bad guys. That's all. Just 2 different type of people. Not black, not white, not whatever. But yes, teaching them and also how the world will treat them are 2 different things. But and I'm just praying for wisdom as we go on. I'm not gonna act like I know what to do. But for my girls, I gave them diaries. I want them to write it down, made it secret. Then I sneak around, make sure they don't know, and read what they've written just to find out where their minds are. Yes, because they're still children and they don't have rights yet.
No, they don't.
Rights.
They really don't yet.
So just because sometimes they don't want this. My daughter, my first one won't say anything. She somehow likes everyone to like her. The other one is the funny one, so everything is a joke. So I have to look between the lines of her jest to find out what she's really dealing with. So when I give them that, write it down. It's just your secret diary. Then I sneak around to see, okay, what's going on? Is he a boy? Is he what's going on? Which boy? Let's go and break his leg. Things like that. So, but in terms of that's how I'm treating them on how they will treat the world.
Right.
Now,
right.
the way the world would treat them is a different case, which I'm telling them, the world might not treat you the same way, but this is how, we pray for wisdom as we go on.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Snatcha, it's been absolutely brilliant speaking to you.
I hope so.
So honestly, it's just
I just feel like I've been rambling.
It's just been super enlightening, and just hearing your thoughts from as a widow and as a man, especially when we're coming up to Father's Day, and just and there they are, the kids.
Yeah, that's them.
And I think it's just been really just refreshing to hear a man's perspective and how he really feels and be able, because not many people can talk about it, but the fact that you can is an absolute blessing. So thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thank you for having me.
And in terms of music wise, where can people go and find your music, latest songs, and also your social media platforms as well? How they can get in touch with you if they've got questions? How can they come and just speak to you about it as well?
Okay, if they have questions, they should text Snatcha.com and just text me at textsnatcha.com. And social media, I'm on Instagram at Soul Snatcha, SOULSNATCHA. I'm on Twitter at Snatcha, SNATCHA. My music is on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere you get music. That's if you just want to listen to my music, or you just like it and you just want to try it out. But if you really want to support me, you go to www.gumroad.com/Snatcha, and you can pay anything you want for my music. Anything. You choose how much you want to pay. From 1p, from 0p to 1,000p, or £1,000, or $500,000 for a track. As the spirit leads you. I will not vex. And whoever goes to my gumroad.com ends up and downloads there and pays anything above £100 for a song, gets to be an executive producer on my album.
Look at that.
And also on my video. They get credits on my video.
Look at that. And that's Gumroad. Is that G-U-M?
G-U-M Road. R-O-A-D Road. Gumroad.com/Snatcha.com/Snatcha.
Gumroad.com/Snatcha. Absolutely brilliant. Well,
I'll just hit the link in my Instagram bio.
In Instagram, yeah. So the link is on the Instagram at Soul Snatcha. So make sure you check them out there. Once again, it's been absolutely brilliant. This has been so amazing. And I just pray that God continues to give you the strength to do this journey with you, because it's not easy for for a man or a woman to be, but even as a father to be a widower. All right. For a widower, it's never easy, but
yeah, because the widow, it's not a widow it's widower.
Oh, okay. But and I just God's got you, and I can just see that He's just guiding you every single day, and I'm looking forward to what else is going to come. So, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be helping so many other fathers in that same position as well, and whatever they're going. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.